Hello everybody, this is Mr. Combs, and once again I could not find a video made by someone else that I felt explained the concept that I want to talk about well enough, so I decided to make my own. We've been talking a little bit about graphing, linear equations, and I want to look at a couple of special equations. So let's look at this one. The directions are to graph y equals 8. So the first thing that we would do when we graph an equation by plotting points, making a chart, is we would make sure that the equation is solved for y. My equation is solved for y, so I can go on to the chart. So I'm going to make my chart. So remember, in our chart we're always going to choose x values, use the equation to help us find the corresponding y values. So in this case, I'll use 0. I always like to use 0. I might use 2. I don't know, I might use 7. Those are 3 good x values to use. So normally what I would do is I would plug the x value in for x, simplify to figure out what y is equal to. But in this case you'll notice that I have no x in the equation. So I just sort of have to use the equation to tell me what y is going to be. So if x is 0, what is y going to be? Well, as I look at the equation says y equals 8. So if x is 0, y equals 8. If x is 2, what does y equal? Well, if I look back at the equation, y equals 8. If x is 7, what does y equal? Well, if I look back at the equation, y equals 8. So I think you'll notice that no matter what I choose, I could choose 10. No matter what I choose, y would always equal 8. I could choose, if I wanted to choose just another one, I could choose -4. If x is -4, what does y equal? Well, y is always equal to 8. So let's graph this. Let's look at the first 3 points. So the first 3 points are 0, 8, 2, 8, and 7, 8. So let's look at 0, 8. I stay at 0, but I go up to where y is 8. There's my first point. I look at 2, 8. I go over to where x is 2 and up to where y is 8. And let's look at 7, 8. So I go over to where x is 7 and up to where y is 8. And you'll notice that if I connect these dots, what I have is a horizontal line that crosses the y-axis at 8. Anytime you have y equals any number, it's always going to be a horizontal line. So let's write this in a note. So basically we can say the graph of the graph of y equals any number, so a stands for any number, is the horizontal line that crosses the y-axis at a. So if this is y equals -4, for example, let's try that one. What if I ask you to graph y equals -4? Well, from now on, instead of writing a chart, all you have to do is use our rule. I'm going to go to where y is -4. Right here is where y is -4. And I'm going to put a horizontal line. And that's all you have to do from now on. Alright, let's look at another equation. What about x is equal to -4? Well, in this case, if I form my chart, going to have to look at this one a little backwards, because this one I don't know anything about y, but I know that x is always negative 4. So x is always going to be negative 4. So no matter what I choose for y, I could choose 0 for y. If I chose 0 for y, x is going to be negative 4. Or if I choose 0 for y, x is going to be negative 4. If I choose negative 3 for y, x will be negative 4. If I choose 7 for y, x is negative 4. So it works the same way as the other equation, only this time x is the same no matter what. So let's plot these points and see what happens. Negative 4 comma 0, so I'm going to go over to negative 4, but I'm going to stay at 0. So that's right there on negative 4. Negative 4 comma negative 3, I'm going to go over to negative 4, but I'm going to go down to negative 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go. And negative 4 comma 7, so I'm going to go over to negative 4, but I'm going to go up to 7, and I think that's it. And you'll notice here that I don't have a horizontal line, but I have a vertical line. And that will always be the case when you have x equals a number. So in this case, we could say that the graph of x equals any number a is the vertical line that crosses the x-axis at a. So from now on, when you see x equals a number, for example, what if I ask you to graph x equals 5? All you have to do, instead of forming a chart, is go to where x is 5, put that point, and then draw the vertical line through it. And that'll be it.